Hello and welcome to the Global View on this Monday. Well, let's take a look at what's going on at a macro level. US consumer spending surging more than expected in September as Americans bought more motor vehicles and travelled more. Adjusting for inflation, consumer spending was up 0.4% last month after rising 0.1% in August. US personal income increased in September by 0.3% month to month. Inflation remained stable but persisted in the month, with the Core PCE price index increasing by 0.4%, with energy prices up 1.7%. Well, longer-dated US Treasury yields rose modestly on that data, with the 10-year note up to 4.84%, while the 2-year was close to 5.02%. And the US dollar was a little weaker against most major currencies on Friday. The Aussie dollar trading at 63.4 US cents. All right, well, let's take a look at what's going on globally, but more specifically in New Zealand. Brad Gordon joining us from Hobson Wealth. Brad, a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. How have you opened there?
Yeah, another tepid start for the NZX 50. I think if you look back to 19th of October was the last day the NZX 50 had a update. So, it's been a pretty tiring couple of weeks here on the NZX market. Not too dissimilar to what's happening offshore, clearly, but we had three key companies report at their AGMs last week: Freightways, Fletcher Building, and Port of Tauranga. And look, they're all just showing similar signs of economic weakness coming through in all facets. So, I think it feels like this economy has really turned a corner. Maybe the Reserve Bank has achieved its goal of slowing the economy enough for inflation to come in, and the last New Zealand CPI did come in well under expectations. So on the positive side, interest rates look like they're done from an OCR point of view, though we are sort of facing the same global issues with that US lead from longer dated rates.
Yeah, so is that the general consensus feeling there then, that the RBNZ is done? Of course, it was one of the first central banks to begin that hiking cycle. Speculation, perhaps it'll be one of the first to start cutting rates. How far ahead are people looking there?
The market's not pricing in any cut through to 24, but just if you take the anecdote of what is happening in private business, and alongside that, which we don't see because there's not many listed companies, but the agriculture sector is very weak as well. Prime lamb, for example, prices are off almost 25% from 12 months ago. So farmers are facing a bit of a credit crunch themselves, with lower revenues, debt costs going up, farm prices spiralling. So all anecdotes suggest this economy has rolled over, and I'd suggest that means interest rates are going to come before the market expectations, where the market expectations are priced in.
How's the travel sector performing at the moment, Brad? I gather that Air New Zealand is out with its passenger number update.
Yeah, look, it's really hard to get a read of where travel sits. One, look, there is still pent up demand for travel, but Air New Zealand have highlighted weakness in business, domestic business, and government. Now, government's not really surprising when you've just seen the incumbent turfed out, but and there'll be a little bit of digestion of the new government's policies, and I can imagine with the new government taking a knife to consultants, and that's going to have an impact. But so Air New Zealand have highlighted weakness in domestic business and government travel, but for all accounts, individual personal travel is strong, very strong.
What sort of sectors, I guess, Brad, are you seeing where there is strength at the moment, just in terms of that investment opportunity?
Look, it's not it's hard to even highlight sectors right at the moment. It's probably individual stocks that where we see probably opportunity. Look, I've mentioned Serco on this forum a few times. Serco Travel Software, they're due for a result on the 15th of November. It's not a domestic play at all. Their biggest exposure is at the moment is Australia, but overwhelmingly that's going to be as global with their deal with Booking.com and CWT Travel in the US. It's a really exciting business with, I think, a long way to go, and I expect that there'll be a surprise to the upside on the 15th of November. So that's certainly one to watch. The retirement sector is still a very, very attractive sector, and Somerset remains a standout there. It's holding up reasonably well in this sell-off of the New Zealand market. So New Zealand's just going to need more and more retirement villages. Housing market is starting to improve. It looks like it's bottomed. Change of government should improve things at the margin. So they're probably the two standout stocks, and probably the energy sector, as boring as it is.
And Brad, you mentioned, of course, you have a new government there, still bedding in, I would have thought. Although, to this point, any significant policy changes, certainly in terms of fiscal spending and the like?
Look, we can't even say they're bedding in yet. We're still waiting for the special vote count, which is not due to be finalised until Friday. So it's potentially another week or two after that before a new government can actually get together and with negotiation. No doubt there's going to be some negotiations with coalition partners between the National Party, ACT, and New Zealand, potentially New Zealand First. We still don't know about that. So look, we're in a real state of flux here in New Zealand. There's not much to say.
All right, well, that's not particularly helpful, is it, for the average New Zealander? They need to get in there and get going. Brad, great to get across what is going on there across the ditch. Thanks so much for joining us on Hobson World.
No problem. Thanks.
All right, that is the global view on this Monday. Just a reminder, when we get underway on the local market here, we are expecting a significant lower opening with SPI futures up about 1%. Stay with us, the open is just around the corner.